Welcome to Bible Forum. I'm Warren Sprouse. This is the first Sunday in October. It's amazing how fast this year has evaporated. If you've been to church at all, and in a real church, a good church, a church that actually opens the Bible and says, turn to chapter 6, does something like that, you've heard of the mark of the beast. ProphecyWatch.com uh, published an article this week. They claim that Amazon has announced a new product for its Ring subsidiary company, a male surveillance system. They also went a step farther and released a new palm scanner. It's a point of sale item. You go into the store, you pick up what you want on the way out, you put your palm on this. Or perhaps on the way in, you put your palm on that. And if anything's missing, they come to you. I don't know how it works. But Amazon announced its rollout that uses customers' palm prints for identification for payment at physical retail stores. The devices are presently available for use only in Seattle locations for something called Amazon Go stores. But the company wants to expand it to any retailer willing to partner with the mega giant. Not just Amazon stores, any store. According to an announcement by the vice president of Amazon's physical retail business, the Amazon One device creates less payment friction in the company's cashierless retail stores. Instead of being identified by an account on their mobile phones, customers can simply walk into the store, scan their palm, shop for products, and the purchases will be automatically charged to a credit card. I gotta believe you gotta do something when you pick up the package. How does the machine know what package is with what person unless you're scanning on the way out? It's even worse than I thought. Amazon says it wants to use the technology to spread to third-party partners. Payments aren't the only function it has for the system. Other uses discussed include a customer entering a location like a stadium, uh, badging into work, along with loyalty cards and such. It brings to mind the dystopian view of society, or perhaps the biblical view of a future society. If the Amazon One hand scanner wasn't enough, Amazon Ring just announced that it would be releasing a new in-home drone. Can you picture a drone flying around in your house? It's a drone coupled with a male monitoring system using a sensor. Picture this thing flying around your house all day just looking. Now, I got to believe you can shut it off. But you got kids in the house, you don't know what they're doing, things running, he's taking pictures. Active Post reported last week the in-home drone, noting how the autonomous drone, the always home cam, zooms around inside your home to give you a perspective of any room you want when you're not there. The drone can also be commanded to fly on demand or programmed to fly when a disturbance is detected by its linked-in Ring alarm system. Once it's done flying, the always home cam returns to its dock to be charged. The battery has to be charged, just like a good little robot. Does this remind you of anything? I'm talking in the Bible. Perhaps it reminds you of Revelation chapter 13, or perhaps chapter 14, or 15, or 16, or 19, or 20. In Revelation chapter 13, the Apostle Paul is the one speaking, says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea." The Greek word beast means a dangerous animal, a venomous wild beast, a creature that is awesome and scary beyond what you might imagine. But this particular beast had 7 heads, had 10 horns, and upon each of those horns were crowns, and upon his 7 heads were the name of blasphemy, especially against God. Blasphemy is evil speaking, it's railing. The heads had blasphemies written on them. And the beast which I saw, John said, was like unto a leopard. His feet were like a bear, his mouth like a lion. And the dragon gave that creature power, gave him his seat and great authority to go along with it. And I saw one of his heads, as it were, wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. All the world wondered after that beast. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power to the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth, speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, to blaspheme his tabernacle, to blaspheme all those that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. This is a biblical view of the time of the Great Tribulation, a time when the church is gone, but a time when millions, perhaps billions, of people who have been left behind, people who have awakened to reality and have come to Christ and been saved. They're not Christians, but they are saved. They are children of God, and they live during that great tribulation, putting up with all this nonsense. Verse 8, it says, And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him. That means the beast, whose names are not written in the book of life. See, not everybody does it. Only those whose names are not written in the book of life worship the beast. These are the ones that are going to go to hell. If any man have an ear, John says, let him hear. Take warning. He talks about 2 things. He that leadeth into captivity, and those who encourage, persuade others to receive the mark, shall go into captivity, and he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And here he tells us is the patience and the faith of the saints, that they can resist, that they can refuse to go along, even as it means a horrible death. The word patience here means cheerful, or perhaps better, hopeful. It speaks of endurance, of constancy, an endurance of patience, a patient continuance in waiting. Verse 11, John says, And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, and he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship that first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. We get the idea here that there's a dragon, a personage which is so evil he doesn't correspond to a human being. No doubt Satan himself. And there's also a personage which does the dragon's work. A demon, a human indwelt by a demon, or several demons. In verse 13, John says, This demon doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword, but did live. Here's a counterfeit Christ. Verse 15, and he had the power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man may buy or sell save that he had those marks, or the name of the beast, or the number of the name. And John says, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. 666. One number short of the divine triunity. 777. When will all this happen? When God decrees it. Reality is, he has already decreed it. God does not operate in a space-time continuum. He's outside the system. It's already done. We say when God does this because in earth time it has a date. But until then, God has been working to bring all things together that this prophecy might be fulfilled. And at no point in human history has it ever been possible until now. And only God keeps it from getting out of hand, or from Satan jumping the gun and moving things too soon or too quickly. But you have to be deaf, dumb, and blind not to realize that things are moving. They are moving carefully and most steadily. And they are moving toward that scenario. A time when every human being can be monitored, controlled through technology. A time when the majority of human beings alive on this planet have purpose to ignore, to reject God. Not the God they imagine, but the one true God of the universe. The God of the Bible, the God who created us. The God who has authority over us and over all things. The God who is characterized as the judge of all men, judging not simply their behavior, but judging the intents of their heart. This is a judge, a God you can't fool. This is a judge, a God you don't want to antagonize.